Welcome back to Nationwide Arena, where the Blue Jackets are 4-1 winners over the Carolina Hurricanes.
Cody's head's cut, yeah. No, he's
Are you in there?
Hey, there we go. I'm like the #1 line tonight. Hey.
Anyway, a big night for the second line of the Brandon Dubinsky centering Cam Atkinson and Boone Jenner. They were really the stars of the game tonight. Both of you guys wrote about them. Let's start with Mike Arace. Your thoughts, our columnist.
What was your first line?
There they are.
There they are.
Yeah, which is, a little overstated, and I softened it. But, one thing that Tortorella said is, and it was a backhanded way of jabbing maybe a player or two on the first line, was that he never worries about the second line. He was speaking specifically of Jenner and Dubinsky. The fact is they haven't produced nearly on the clip they did last year. Atkinson has gotten 9 of his 21 goals on the power play. 5-on-5, they've been as well as they. Oftentimes they're playing against the top line for the other team, but they haven't generated nearly as much offense as they did last year. And tonight they were terrific. I mean, they turned the game around. Solid game in net from Bob, but the goal by Boone Jenner answering the first Carolina goal, and then Dubinsky answering 35 seconds later.
Right.
Boom, boom, that was it. The Jackets essentially owned the game from there on. They won 4-1.
I thought it was, Aaron, I thought it was really one of their best performances all around in weeks. And it to me, reminded me of games early in the season where, okay, they didn't score the first goal, but they jumped on teams early. Bob was fine, made nice saves. I think really helped the team relax, play a little more calm. But they were in control of this game for large stretches.
Yeah, well, I thought they were absolutely phenomenal for the first period, maybe 2 periods against the Rangers.
Yeah.
After the streak ended, and then it fell apart.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's been choppy seas since then. The goaltending's been all over the place. Bob comes back tonight, and he didn't make any, I don't think, year in review type saves. No. You're not going to remember any of them. No. But it just settles everything down all over the ice.
This game was like right out of last month.
Yeah.
They kept
during the streak.
Took care of their goalie. They pushed everything outside.
Totally.
They got bang goals.
Right.
And it was just solid. I didn't touch it off.
No. And the #2 line, which has been invisible for the most part offensively, with the exception of Atkinson, you could just feel it after Jenner scores, and then after Dubinsky gets his goal 35 seconds later, that line was just like they wanted the puck. Yeah. And I think for long stretches this year they've been really comfortable defending and playing with it, but maybe not with that let's go score thought in mind. And I thought they've played with that the rest of the game.
You had a chance to talk to Dubinsky. What did he have to say for his performance? And how does this bode for this line?
Well, his main point was that you can't have just the first line going and then chip-ins here and there that for what they want to accomplish, and he said playoffs and beyond were his exact words, they need a second line that has some offensive potency. Mm-hmm. And he said he hopes that this is a sign of good things to come. What I found really interesting, as well as I thought they played, especially the first line in the third period, the coach wasn't all that thrilled. He came out with his brow was furrowed, and he was kind of downcast, almost ashen, and he said there were specific areas of the game that he did not like, and that he's seen festering for the last 10 games.
Right.
Now, festering wasn't his word.
Right. Although he uses it a lot.
He loves that word.
He wasn't a fan of
There was no entitlement, though.
Shockingly, yeah.
There was no entitlement.
The first line he didn't like tonight. He didn't like the way they started.
Yeah, he liked the way they finished, but and he's not been real happy.
Right.
Some of the most interesting things John Tortorella said tonight was before the game. Really was strong, about Brandon Saad, a guy who we've heard him kind of ride before because he knows the potential this guy has.
Sure.
We saw it in the streak. I mean, he during that 16-18 games, 10 goals, 9 assists. Lately has not.
Yeah.
I think that line, and to use your word, has been a little cute.
Yes.
And I thought in the third period, to get to your point, that they were much better.
Oh, well, he mentioned this too, and I think we've seen this. Instead of taking the quick, sharp, available pass, they've tried to go 25 feet up ice for the pretty play, the highlight play, the spring somebody play. Just not stuff that they have to do. They have options, and rather than take the simple, straightforward, smart option, they've tried for too much.
Yeah.
And his points where it makes him slow,
Right.
and they can't be slow, not in this division. And his second point was on the flip side of the ice that they're allowing, and this is sticking in his craw as well as Sod is, they're allowing more chances over the past 10 games than they're generating.
Well, they're defending more.
Yeah.
Because they're not carrying the puck.
They don't have the puck.
Right.
They don't have the puck.
And then, but then in the third period, those two shifts were
I thought they were much better.
Oh, my God.
Another guy, before we get too carried away in the conversation, I thought Ryan Murray had a really nice game tonight. Broke up a play on the first goal. I mean, everyone's going to point to that great power move by Jenner on the first goal, but I thought he was good at both ends.
Well, it's funny. Tell me if you agree that I didn't notice him the first 2 months of the season, and then sort of since then, every week incrementally you notice him more and more and more. Yeah. Now that's my just a general feeling of mine, but he seems to be playing a little bit better every night or every week. He's having impact on games now.
He's for some reason Twitter doesn't like Ryan Murray.
They seem
Twitter finds somebody every year that they don't like, and not to disagree with everybody, but Twitter doesn't like Ryan Murray for various reasons. The one thing I think has to be taken into account here, he's never been a third-pairing defenseman, ever. This is the number 2 overall pick.
Playing offside.
This is a big-time major junior player. He's never been a third-pairing guy who plays 15, 16 minutes a night some nights. He's never played a game where he wasn't on the power play, and he hasn't been on the power play forever. Now, for the last few games, he's been on the power play, the second unit since they revamped it, with Jenner and Dubinsky off, Murray, and who's come on with Murray for Jones? Anyways, they get 2D on the second power play unit, and I don't know if that has an effect. Maybe I'll try to talk to him tomorrow about it. But I just think there's a level of involvement in this game. But it is a luxury, and we can take this for granted. I think to have a number 2 overall pick and a really solid player on your third pair, and maybe he deserves some credit. I think Nudavaro is a pretty good player. But he's done a pretty good job bringing along a very young, very green player. Yep. And tonight he switched over to his opposite side tonight to play with Scott Harrington, who finally drew back into the lineup for Nudavaro.
Okay. As the Blue Jackets try to make this 2 in a row on Thursday night, kind of a weird week here where you don't have we've seen these big teams come in. We've seen Pittsburgh come in here, the Rangers a couple times. It's Ottawa on Thursday, Carolina on Saturday.
Again, right.
But again, they've got to get this momentum turned around and built the right directions. So important games. Check out his column tomorrow, his game story, and keep it right here on Dispatch.com. We'll see you Thursday night.
Peace.